Elizabeth Hines here from the Autoimmune Free Cooking Club and our Paleo family. I am coming to you with a great new Instant Pot recipe tonight. It is cold and it's the perfect season to be using your Instant Pot. Hopefully you just got one for Christmas or maybe a Black Friday sale and you're ready to try it out. So let me show you a really tasty, easy recipe. So my favorite button on the Instant Pot is the saute button. I almost always use more for the actual sauteing part. Sometimes I'll put it on less or normal at the end of cooking to reduce or bring it up to a boil so I can add a thickener or something like that. But for cooking I use the saute more, so I had to adjust. I'm going to add a tablespoon-ish of avocado oil. You can use any cooking fat that you want that is great at high heat, which for the longest time they were telling us that olive oil was not great for high heat cooking, and now some of the functional medicine gurus are coming back and saying it's actually okay. I tend to buy just a good olive oil. It has a great flavor, and so I save it for salad dressings. I just don't want to use my good olive oil in cooking, but you can do that if you want. Just don't use the vegetable oils, canola oil, sunflower oil, just the one that's called vegetable oil, that sort of thing. Those oils are very inflammatory, and you get plenty of those in your diet regularly when you eat any kind of packaged foods. Okay, so that was just one medium organic sweet onion. Putting that in there. I'm going to use about 3 cloves of garlic. It just depends on how big they are, so I got to open this up and see. I just lost my train of thought with my daughter popping in. She said we were having an elf emergency. The elf on the shelf, I'm assuming you know what that is, that our elf was about to fall. And you know, children are not allowed to touch the elves, and so she could not touch him. And so I said, as long as you are not wild and crazy up there, he's not going to fall any further. So I have to go take care of him in a little bit. So if you've just gotten an Instant Pot, I would love to know if you've used it yet. If so, what did you make? How did you like it? Were you nervous? Did it turn out well? I know that I get a lot of new viewers from that original pot roast video I made, which is, it was New Year's Eve and 3 years ago. So that is an old video, and I have used my Instant Pot a ton since then. So definitely watch some of my other videos, because that was actually somebody else's recipe. I hadn't used my Instant Pot before. It was not a great success. I did a lot of things wrong. Not really using my Instant Pot wrong, but in terms of getting that pot roast to turn out well. So I hope you stick around with my channel and watch some of my other recipes. I'm just chopping this garlic. I don't have to be super particular about it because I'm going to puree this at the end. I'm going to put in about a half a teaspoon of salt and a little bit of black pepper. With soups like this, a lot of times people will use white pepper, so you don't end up with those black flecks in it, but I don't care at all about having the black flecks. I'm fine with that. So I'm going to let this soften for a few minutes, and then I'll add my garlic and then my other stuff. This is a really simple recipe. But let me just tell you a little bit about myself if you're new here. I'm Elizabeth. I have an autoimmune disease. I have Crohn's disease. My husband has type 1 diabetes, which is also autoimmune. We have 2 children. And so I forget how many years, more than 5 years ago, I decided that I was going to manage my Crohn's disease with functional medicine, which is basically diet and lifestyle. Treat the root cause, don't treat the symptoms. I was on the immune suppressing drugs. I was on steroids from time to time. I was constantly living under this black cloud of your disease is going to come back. You're going to have more surgery. And I didn't like feeling that way. And so when I learned about the paleo diet, that led me to functional medicine, and it just led me down this path, which actually has changed my life. Number one, I'm healthy. My disease is in remission. I went back to school to become a functional medicine certified health coach so that I can share with others how my life has changed with this lifestyle and help people do it, because it is hard. I can't tell you the number of people I talk to who go see a functional medicine doctor. There's one that I've seen that I recommend to a lot of people. And then people come back to me and say, oh my goodness, I got like this book of instructions and it's so expensive to see this doctor, to buy all of the supplements, to eat the different food, and it's overwhelming and I'm just going to not do any of it. And so that's really why I got into health coaching, because it is really hard to make these changes. It's hard to do it the hard way. The easy way is taking the medication. And so that's what I do. I help people manage their chronic disease with diet and lifestyle. So all the recipes on my channel are gluten-free. Most are paleo, which is completely grain-free, dairy-free, legume-free, refined sugars and refined oil-free. And that's how we manage our disease. And I love to cook, and I love to eat, and I love to feed the people that I love good food. And so it's important to me to cook food that tastes good. I don't want somebody to come to my house for Christmas dinner and feel like they're being fed diet food. So my recipes, I hope, are good. I test them and I try them before I present them to you. So tonight we're having a great, it could be a vegetarian dish. I'm using chicken broth, but you could use vegetable broth and make it vegetarian. Not that I endorse vegetarianism. I just know that that's important to some of you. I don't want you to be turned off. You know, paleo people eat a lot of vegetables, okay? So I'm cooking my onions. I've cooked my garlic a little bit. I'm going to get my spices in here. This is paprika. I want a teaspoon of paprika. Did I finish saying, like, have you ever had a creamy butternut squash soup or a creamy potato soup, like a loaded potato soup? Well, we're doing this a low-carb version. So that was a teaspoon of paprika and a half a teaspoon of thyme. It was a little bit less. So this is like a combination. So it's going to be like a sort of a sweet, loaded potato soup, done low carb because we're using cauliflower and butternut squash. So the carb count in butternut squash is 12 grams for 3/4 of a cup. So that's pretty low. It would be low carb, probably not keto. I'm going to add in another 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt. I can adjust the seasoning at the end. I opted for frozen butternut squash to be easy. This was $2 for this 1 pound bag, and that's an organic one from Whole Foods. You can probably find it cheaper elsewhere. But I have prepped a whole butternut squash myself before, and it is hard, and I did not enjoy it. So I went the easy way. So this is 2 cups of chicken bone broth. It has, I think, 7 grams of protein per serving, which is, I think, a cup. This is the one I used. A serving is 1 cup and it has 9 grams of protein. So this is one Pacific brand that they sell at regular grocery stores. I have found it at Costco for a really good price. I don't have any good bone broth in my freezer right now, which is why I use that one. And also, I'm not adding meat to this, and so that's my protein. Then you want a 1/2 cup of milk, which I ran out of almond milk, so I have a little bit of grass milk is the brand. We try if we're going to have dairy to have grass-fed dairy. So the brand is called Grass Milk, and it is 1/2 and 1/2 cream from grass-fed cows. So it was about a 1/4 of a cup of almond milk and a 1/4 of that grass milk. half and half. And then I just have one big head of cauliflower that I cleaned and chopped, and I'm gonna set my Instant Pot on high for 10 minutes. The cauliflower actually takes a little while, so 10 minutes will be fine, but cauliflower isn't a vegetable that you can cook in 1 minute. Some veggies will be done in a minute, but not cauliflower. So I already turned that off because it was cooking pretty high. Make sure my gasket is all the way in there. Put it on, push it all the way over, make sure my valve is set to sealing. It is loose, it's supposed to be loose like that, so just push it to sealing. And then we want manual high pressure for, what did I just say? 15 minutes? Is that what I said? Or 10 minutes? I can't remember, I don't have it written down. I think I went 10 minutes. You have 30 seconds to adjust things before it kind of clicks in. You can always hit cancel, turn it off, unplug it, reset your things, but when you are pushing your buttons, you have 30 seconds to adjust high pressure, low pressure, less, normal, more when you're on saute or slow cook, that sort of thing, or your minutes. So mine says on right now, and when it comes up to pressure, it will start counting down. Okay, so that's it. We can walk away. Because of the volume in there, my guess is it will take about 10 minutes for this to come up to pressure, and then it will cook for its 10 minutes. And then I can do a quick release and let the pressure out, and I will let you see that when the cooking time is over. Hey there everybody, so our cooking time is finished. I have scheduled this video to go up right around Christmas time, thinking that a lot of people received an Instant Pot over Christmas. So that's why I'm covering some Instant Pot basics. So I'm sorry if you've had your Instant Pot for a super long time, but I just want new people to not be afraid of their Instant Pot, because we love them, right? They're such a wonderful tool, and I know people are afraid of them. Don't be afraid of your Instant Pot. Your Instant Pot is your friend. Okay, so now it says L, and then however many minutes, that means lapsed time. That's the time that has passed since the cooking time has finished. This little floater is still up, meaning it's still locked, it's still under pressure, and I need to vent that pressure so I can get on with my supper. I could let the pressure come down. That's called a natural release. I'm gonna do a quick release, and I just want you to see how long it takes, because it can take a while for all that pressure to come off. So just use something. I cover mine because my lights are right here, and I don't want all that steam going directly onto my lights. I'm actually gonna do a double duty on that one. I have this YouTube channel that I love. I have lots of really friendly viewers that I love interacting with through this channel. But I also have a website called the Autoimmune Free Cooking Club, and what that is a membership. And for a low monthly price, which the price is going to go up. I had my beta launch back in the fall, and I'll be opening up for enrollment again on January 6th. The price is going to go up a little bit, but it's still low. I meet weekly with my members. We have a little coaching session, some Q&A. If they don't have questions, I have material to present to them. It's all functional medicine based. It's how can you improve your life through what you're eating, getting more exercise, getting the toxins out of your environment, that sort of thing. We have monthly one-on-one coaching where it's a more in-depth coaching session, and they get lots and lots of recipes. Meal plans, helpful checklists, that sort of thing. So if that sounds good to you, if you're interested in managing your chronic illness with diet and lifestyle, head over to the website. We'll put it across the screen so you can see that, autoimmunefreecookingclub.com, and just read about it there. There's a membership info page, and think about it. See if that might be something that would be a good fit for you. A lot of people just need and want support to make these lifestyle changes, and that's what that's all about. Holding each other accountable when that's what you need, just getting support, having, functional medicine doctors are expensive and they're hard to get in with, and even though I've been a patient of mine for years, I can't just call him up when I have a question. I am not a doctor, but I do have a master's degree in physiology. I am a certified functional medicine health coach. I love learning. It is one of my favorite things. And I do have a lot of knowledge, and I love to share that. So it's great to have somebody that you trust that you can contact easily and ask a question. And our community is really wise as well, so it's not just me. Okay, so that just took a couple minutes for our pressure to come down. Condensation will come out of the top, so put a towel or something over your lid when you remove it. Just get that right in the sink. You can see what it looks like there. Got our cauliflower. You can see the squash, seasonings. This pan is hot. It's not hot when you're first sauteing and stuff, but it is hot after it's been under pressure. You can see the cauliflower is really soft. And now I'm going to blend it with my immersion blender. You could just pour this into your regular blender. You know, remember you need to vent it so it doesn't explode on you. You could use a food processor. So if you do, I splatter myself a little bit. If you do a lot of cooking and you do not have an immersion blender, I highly recommend it. That was much easier to blend that in there than having to transfer it into something else, blend it, potentially put it back in here to keep it warm. So I honestly have no idea how expensive this is. Mine is very old. This is the Cuisinart Quick Prep. I'm pretty sure it came from Williams-Sonoma. It was pre-Amazon days. So I will find one that I recommend. I'll read some reviews and I'll link one in the notes. But this Cuisinart one has been great. It just has high and low. I make my mayonnaise with it. I use it really a lot. So if you need a gift for yourself or somebody needs a gift idea for you, that would be a great one. All right, so I'm going to give this a taste for seasoning. I didn't really know how salty that broth would be, and so I did not put a ton of salt in. And so I have, while that was cooking, I fried a few slices of bacon. So my trick for getting little pieces of bacon like this, instead of frying the slices and then crumbling them, I use my kitchen scissors that are sharp, and I cut the raw bacon and just go ahead and cook it in the little pieces. It's much, much easier. So I have some bacon, I have some white cheddar, and I have a few green onions. So that's treating this more like a loaded potato soup. Oh, it's so good. It's just delicious. You know, it is like creamy and rich without being full of cream. I do think it needs a little bit more salt, so I put in 3/4 of a teaspoon, and I am going to put in a 1/4 teaspoon more. I got out my crushed red pepper just to show you. A lot of people like some spice with this kind of soup, and also a little bit of nutmeg is really traditional. So if you like spice, add a little crushed red pepper. You could add it now, you could add it before it cooked, and then dress it up any way you like. So when I traditionally have made a creamy butternut squash soup at Thanksgiving. It's like our lunch on Thanksgiving Day before the big meal later. And I make the soup, and then I just brown some, not Italian sausage, breakfast sausage, and have that crispy sausage to go on top. That would be delicious with this. But I think it's going to be good like this too. So let me put a couple little pieces of cheese, a little green onion, a slice of bacon. So good. It's a super mild flavor. If you have somebody who is really anti-cauliflower, this would be a great one because it doesn't taste like cauliflower. The butternut squash is a strong enough flavor that I think it really masks the cauliflower. It has that creamy texture. You would never guess that it's cauliflower and not a potato. And it was super fast. And again, it has protein because we use the bone broth, which is high in protein, but you could use vegetable broth. I wouldn't do beef broth. I would either do vegetable or chicken. and then any kind of toppings you like. So I hope you love this recipe. Give it a try. Let me know what you think. The recipe will be written up in the notes below. I will link to the Instant Pot. I will link to an immersion blender. And I hope to see you back here. If you're new, consider subscribing, hitting that little bell so you'll get a notification when a new video goes up, which is almost always every Wednesday, sometimes a little bit more. Sometimes we have an off day and we miss a Wednesday, but generally we publish a new recipe every Wednesday. They're always gluten-free, mostly paleo, and lots of Instant Pot. So if that sounds good to you, I would love for you to come back, and I'll see you next time.